Tonight, when you feel sadness, your eyes will fill with water. It seems like a simple, involuntary leak, but your body is doing something incredibly complex. Roughly 1 in 10 animals can cry to clear their eyes, but only humans cry from feelings. We are the only creature on Earth that leaks fluids to signal internal pain. Look closely at a drop of your own sorrow. Under a microscope, it looks nothing like regular water. Dr. William Frey at the St. Paul Ramsey Medical Center spent years collecting tears. He discovered something shocking in 1981. Tears caused by an emotional movie contain far more protein than tears caused by a chopped onion. When you chop an onion, your eyes produce basal tears. These are just pure defensive shields. They are 98% plain water mixed with basic salt. Their job is simple. They wash away the stinging sulfur compounds, but emotional tears are a completely different chemical weapon. They contain high concentrations of prolactin, ACTH, and leucine and kephalin. Leucine and kephalin is a natural endorphin. It is a biological painkiller manufactured directly by your brain. Why would your eye glands pump actual narcotics onto your face when you are heartbroken? Your body is literally attempting to drug you back to safety. It is pumping out stress hormones to force a chemical reset. Think about the last time you had a good, deep cry. You felt physically exhausted afterward, but also strangely calm. Your heart rate dropped. Your breathing stabilized. Dr. Frey's data showed that emotional crying actually excretes toxic stress chemicals out of the flesh. Your skin is acting like a secondary kidney. But the chemistry is only half the mystery. Why must this chemical purge happen out in the open, where everyone can see it? A crying face is incredibly distinct. Your eyebrows pull up and together. Your throat muscles tighten in a painful lump called a globus sensation. Your eyes glisten and tracts of moisture run down your cheeks. In a brutal prehistoric world, showing weakness was a death sentence. A weeping caveman is visually impaired, physically compromised, and completely vulnerable. If crying makes us targets, why didn't evolution scrub it away? Charles Darwin famously called emotional tearing a useless byproduct of facial muscle contractions. He thought it was just an accidental leak. Darwin was completely wrong. To understand why we cry, we have to look at our ancient ancestors. 70,000 years ago, early humans lived in small, tightly knit tribes. Survival depended entirely on absolute cooperation. If a predator was nearby, a loud scream alerted the group. But a scream also alerted the predator. Loud panic invites immediate danger. What happens when you need to signal immense distress without making a sound? You need a silent alarm system. You need a visual cue that can only be seen by those closest to you. Tears are the ultimate intimate signal. They only work across short distances. They demand that someone step close to your face to read them. How can a tiny drop of salt water carry so much evolutionary weight? Dr. Orrin Hassan, an evolutionary biologist, proposed a brilliant theory. He argued that tears act as a physical white flag. When your eyes are flooded with liquid, your vision is blurred. You cannot easily attack. You cannot effectively defend yourself. By crying, you are offering a biological proof of submission. You are signaling to an aggressor that you are totally defenseless. In the harsh landscape of ancient Earth, this silent signal could instantly de-escalate a lethal tribal conflict. It turns off the predator response in other humans. It transforms an enemy into a protector. This is why human babies cry with tears while chimpanzee infants only make loud screams. A baby chimp can cling to its mother's fur with immense physical strength. A human baby is born completely helpless and cannot hold on. If a human baby screams continuously, it attracts every apex predator in the valley. The silent sheen of tears allows for a localized, quiet cry for help. The brain structures involved in this process are ancient. The lacrimal gland above your eye is wired directly to your limbic system. This is the emotional command center of your brain, containing the amygdala and the hypothalamus. When you experience intense grief or social rejection, the anterior cingulate cortex registers it. Curiously, this is the exact same brain region that registers physical pain from a broken bone. To your brain, a broken heart and a broken arm look identical. Both activate the same neural pathways. Both trigger the same emergency response. The brain sends an urgent electrical signal down the facial nerve. It commands the lacrimal gland to open the floodgates. Every drop tells a story. Photographer Rosalind Fisher captured this beautifully in a project mapping the topography of tears. She dried different types of tears on glass slides and placed them under an electron microscope. The results were stunning. Tears of grief looked like jagged, fractured blocks of ice or barren winter landscapes. Tears of joy looked like lush, microscopic aerial views of fields and rivers. The physical structure of the salt crystals changes based on the emotional state of the host. The chemistry of your pain alters the geometry of the fluid. You are literally weeping entirely different microscopic worlds depending on what broke your spirit. Does this mean your tears are designed to be read like a map? In a way, yes. When someone sees you cry, mirror neurons fire in their own brain. They instantly feel an echo of your specific suffering. It triggers an involuntary urge to touch, comfort, and protect. It is an unbreakable social glue. We live in a modern world that tells us to hide our tears. We treat crying as a loss of control or a sign of weakness. We wipe them away quickly in public bathrooms. We apologize for breaking down in front of our friends, but suppressing this fluid is biologically unnatural. When you hold back tears, you are keeping toxic levels of stress hormones trapped inside your nervous system. You are refusing to let your brain administer its own manufactured painkiller. You are shutting down the ancient silent alarm that kept your ancestors alive through the darkest nights of history. The next time a wave of sadness hits, do not fight the sting in your eyes. Let the water fall. Your body isn't failing you. It is executing a beautifully designed 100,000-year-old survival program. It is rewriting your internal chemistry to save you from yourself. We often think of tears as a sign that we have been broken by the world, but in reality, they are the exact mechanism that mends us. They are the physical landscape of human empathy. After all, we do not cry because we are weak. We cry because we have reached the absolute limit of what our minds can bear in silence. Your tears are not a leak in the machine. They are the proof that you are human.